the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, and host of the hugely popular podcast by the same name. Check it out by the name Dr. John Deloney anyway. You can check it all out there. He talks about mental health and relationships and boundaries and all those kinds of things, your life, and we're going to talk about that with you today, as well as your money questions and anything else you want to dig into. This is all about you, and we talk about you right in front of you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. John's in Detroit to start off this hour. Hey, John, how are you?
Dave, I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a unique question. My wife and I were completely debt-free with the exception of our mortgage. We are in the process of selling our construction business, and we're going to use the profits of that to pay off the mortgage, and then we're not too certain how to handle the rest of the money. We have about, I'd say about a $65,000 emergency fund saved up, and beyond there, we figured grow the emergency fund and then make some steps towards retirement or investing, but that's the portion that we're not too clear on what to do with.
How much you getting from the company?
$525.
I hate it when that happens. Way to go, man. Congratulations. How's that feel?
Thank you very much.
You're like running around the backyard yelling touchdown or what?
We're going to. We're going to holler out, we're debt-free first and then touchdown.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 36.
Way to go.
Are you clearing any business debt on this deal, or is it just $525 depositing in your checking account?
We have no business debt. Out of the $525 is the purchase price, so taxes are going to come out of that.
Sure.
How much do you owe on your house?
Home, $230, about $230.
Why'd you sell the business?
We'd like to slow down life a little bit. We have 5 kids. We're teaching them, how to farm and whatnot. So we're just looking to slow down life a little bit.
So what are you going to do for a living?
We'll probably continue as an independent contractor. There's also some consulting opportunities that I've been asked about, so I'll probably proceed those as well.
Okay, so you think you're going to have what kind of household income going forward?
I'll easily be able to, with what we're going to do going forward, have an $80,000 to $100,000 household income. I'd like to lower that as much as I can and supplement our own family farm. So I'd like to get it low as let's say 65 or 70. That's that'll be a change for our family.
Why are you supplementing the family farm? Why doesn't it make money?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We're wanting to use that to create income as well, but we'd also like to make sure we're providing a good amount of our food and produce. We have cows and pigs and chickens, so we'd like to provide a good amount of our food on that as well. Cool. And then what's left definitely turn into income. Living
a dream. Way to go, man. So proud of you.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Well, there's 3 things you can do with money. You can give it, and you should. You can enjoy it, called lifestyle, and you should. And you can invest it, and you should. So, no, you do not need to beef up your emergency fund. It's probably too big now. And based on what you told me, you do need to pay off the house. That puts you at baby step 7. The rest of the money is left to do those 3 things with: invest, give, enjoy. Now, invest could be back into the farm to get it going, which is what I think I just understood. It's not a permanent loss. You're going to buy things that are going to create income. Correct?
Correct.
That's an investment. That's not a loss. That's not a cost. That's not supplementing. That's investing. And then, and if you invest into some real estate you pay cash for, or into some mutual funds like we talk about, these are the things I invest in, and somewhere in there, and you give some of it, and you guys enjoy some of it. It sounds like the overall move is to get your life back, and then make sure that that you're creating enough of an income to live on, and live that life without having to touch those investments. So after taxes, mortgage, investing into the farm, a little bit of enjoyment, I want you to splurge something just to have a woohoo moment. Not a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be 10,000, 20,000. I don't care. If there's something you want to buy, I don't care what it is. You just decide, you and your wife. And same thing about the generosity piece. Then you can decide how you want to invest the rest of it. But you've done it, man. I mean, nothing you're saying is wrong. If you say, I want to give all of it, I'm going to go, yeah, think about that. I want to invest all of it, I'm going to go, yeah, think about that. I want to consume all of it hedonistically, I'm going to go, yeah, think about that. But I think when you got a little of all three in there, you got a good mix. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. It sounds wonderful.
And the deal is you and your wife need to sit down. Now, we'll tell you this. You will mess this up if you don't treat it like a building project. $525 minus taxes, minus mortgage, assign those dollars. This much to generosity, this much to enjoyment, this much to the farm, this much to mutual funds. Go ahead and before you get the money, because all of us have had the experience of putting money into a checking account and then go, where'd it go? It just left.
Sure.
And if you don't tell it what to do, it will run off into somebody's account who does tell it what to do.
And John, let me throw one more thing on there. Dave just talked about the money part. There's going to be an existential crisis you're going to run into in a few months because you're a hardworking, hard-charging builder, planner, scraper, clawer. That's how you built a company that you're selling for $500,000 before you're 40 years old. And you are going to think that everything's going to be great on the back end because you have done this thing. If you don't have a new mission, a new purpose, a detailed plan for what your days are going to look like, your weeks, your months, where are you and your wife working towards? We're just going to get some more time with our family. You're going to get real restless. You're going to get real annoying to each other. And then all of a sudden, I've seen families implode on each other, Dave, when somebody just retires without a plan or somebody just... I finally got enough money to pay off my house.
I had a friend that sold his stuff, John. What John Deloney's talking about, John, sold his business. He was 32 years old, and he sold it for $1.5 million. And he said, he'd been working since he was 16 on that business, growing it. And he said, for the next 3 years, I went fishing and got fat. Huh. And he said, I almost died. And he said, and so what did he do? At 35 years old, he went back to work.
Yeah.
Because you need to have something to lay your hand to. So better to say, I'm going to do this consulting thing, I'm going to do this, have something to lay your hand to, because kicking your feet up in the air, kicking back in the chair, sitting in the recliner at 36 is a bad plan.
Terrible plan.
It's not what your plan is, but just to John's point, you can't fish that much, you can't play that much golf. You need something to do that has meaning. And I do a little of both of those, neither one of them have meaning. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we take your questions about your life and your money. The phone number, 888-825-5225. Life gets busy. We know this. Between work, family, summer vacations, everything in between. Sometimes marriages take a back seat and the connection with your spouse can fade. 39 years on Saturday, last Saturday for me.
Congratulations, man.
39 years. That's dangerously close to 40.
39 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is real. Time to reconnect, bring back the spark, romance, fun with summer flying by. It's a perfect time for a summer date night. On Friday, July the 16th, join Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney for the Money and Marriage live stream event. Rachel and Dr. Deloney are going to teach you how to navigate the top challenges married couples face today when it comes to money and intimacy. You'll learn how to get clear on what you need from your partner and how the two of you can have a better conversation, build the future you're excited about. For you Ramsey Plus members, you've got access to the event as part of your membership. If you're not a Ramsey Plus member, early bird passes are on sale right now for only $20. Early bird prices won't last long. That's why they're called early bird prices. Text marriage to 33789. The problem with the Money and Marriage event is it's Rachel and John doing it, and both of them are funny. And so it's like a comedy routine between the two of you.
Yeah,
she's very serious and very intellectual comedy routine.
She's reminds me a lot of my sister, and it gets off the rails pretty fast. There's usually a few people making sure that the boat stays in the water there.
Yeah, they're trying to keep you two between the ditches. But, oh my gosh, yeah, and both of you are wicked smart, and both of you have a lot to say about money and about marriage, and so the overlap is fabulous. The chemistry's good, and the material, the content is absolutely amazing. And one thing we know for sure, having done this show for 30 years now, almost, is that marriage and money are tied together. You cannot untie them. You cannot talk about money without talking about marriage if you're married. Right. And you cannot talk about marriage without talking about money. Right. Because because your treasure's where your heart is. Where you spend your money just says so much about what's going on in the power structure of the relationship, what's going on in the communication style in the relationship. We found this out accidentally years ago, making couples do a budget together. And what they'd come back and go, this is the best marriage class we've ever had.
Because we dig up all kinds of stuff,
right? We forced them to combine their value systems, and they never had.
Yeah. The beauty of this conversation with me and Rachel or this event, is we're both married, and we're both trying to figure out money. And so you can have all the academic insight you want, all the knowledge, and read all the studies. It's a totally different thing when me and Sheila are trying to figure out budgets, right? Because her childhood comes up, and my childhood comes up, and what I want, and what she thinks.
Rachel's my daughter, so she had a childhood. Oh my God! Can you imagine being raised as my kid? Yeah.
No, actually,
that right there is a counseling session in and of itself. But
yeah, the Mental Health Practitioners of America thank parents like you for keeping us all in business. But yeah, and the last one we did in February for Valentine's Day, where we had 20,000 people.
Yeah.
On the stream, is just this. It massive. Came out from under us, right? So we're excited to do this again. I don't know about you guys, but this summer is just. We're 6 months in. Can you believe we're 6 months into after 2020?
Yeah.
Like it just happened overnight, and everyone's still trying to figure out what are we doing.
2020 happened to marriages, and 2020 happened to money.
Yeah.
Both.
And we're all healing and figuring out.
People are trying to get the water back even again, you know. And so July the 16th, Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, the Money and Marriage live stream event. $20 is all it is for early bird pricing. Ramsey Plus members watch for free. So, well, as part of your membership. It's not free, but it's part of your membership. And all you got to do, if you want to sign up, text marriage to 33789. Marriage to 33789. If you can agree on your spending, you have agreed on your future. It's a big deal.
If you agree to stay married, you're agreeing to sit down and have some hard conversations about what money means in your house.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
both and, right?
You know, it's very expensive to end a marriage.
Yeah.
It's it sets you back a decade or more. You can lose a lifetime of work in that. The old not funny joke is marriage is grand, divorce is 50 grand.
I never heard that joke.
It's bad joke, but yeah,
but very true.
But it's also you go yeah. Although I did have one guy call in and I said, "How'd you get debt free?" And he goes, "I divorced her."
Well, and there's
that.
A lot of couples tend to, when they divorce, they tend to have really divergent paths financially about what that means for each person. Anyway, man, if you're all in, stay in. Join us for this event. It'll be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to fix both of them or to get better at both of them. You know who comes to this? It's not usually the people that are in crisis. It's usually the people that are just wanting to learn so they never face a crisis. Or when they face a crisis, they've got the tools.
How to get my marriage at a 6? How do I get it to an 8?
Yeah,
right.
It's not I'm at a -4. We're in nuclear meltdown, and we think a $20 live stream is going to fix it. Right. It's not.
But sometimes you sit on the couch to watch a live stream, and you think you're at a 7, and you realize, we're at a 4.
4.5.
Right? We need to go talk to somebody. Right? So
875.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So July the 16th, text marriage right now, and you can get signed up. Text marriage to 33789. The Money and Marriage event. Dr. John Deloney, Rachel Cruz. It will be fab. Bob is with us. Bob is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Thank you, Dave, for taking my call. I just want to thank you also. We've been done FPU since 2003. Our lives are changed. We're eternally grateful, and I want to thank you for that so much.
Cool.
My question is, we have a family trust, and we have 3 wonderful girls, our 7th grandchild on the way, and so forth. And 2 of them work with us in the business, and the other one has a successful business with her husband in another state about 3 hours away, same line of business and so forth. We are planning on leaving, and the trust is for all 3 of them, but the business we're planning for the 2 of them that work with us. Do you see anything wrong with that? Or should the business be left for all 3, or is the trust is, but not the business, the way we have it right now? What's your thoughts on that?
The business, the ownership of the business is inside the trust?
It is set. That's a great question. My wife and I were talking about that we just had this done. We've separated it from the 3. Yeah, we had a.
You can have a trust with 3 people in it, and the terms of the trust are the business goes to 2 people. You can have a trust like that. And everything else is divided 3 ways inside the trust. You could do that as well. So I don't know how you've got a structure. It really doesn't matter. So what you're doing is fine. There's nothing morally wrong with it, nothing relationally wrong with it, as long as everybody's on board. I'll give you a couple of thoughts. I'll give you a thought and then a pointer. Okay? Thought number 1 that we learned early in our process is to separate working in the business as your career is a separate thing than ownership. Okay? In other words, you don't have to work in the business to be an owner. That's true of any business, by the way. You could just be an investor, right? And so in our case, we chose to do it differently than you have. Rachel's obviously a personality. My son Daniel is on our operating board and one of our senior executive vice presidents running a whole section of this business today. My daughter Denise does not work here, like one of your kids. In our case, the kids own the business 1/3 each and are paid for their 1/3 each as an owner off the owner line. The other 2 that work here, Rachel's paid like John Deloney's paid off the personality line, and Daniel's paid like our other senior executive vice presidents. So they get paid for their job, but then the ownership is different. That's owning stock in the company. You can separate those 2, and you haven't. So that's a thought. If you want to keep it like it is, it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with what you've done. The pointer I'll give you is this. Whatever you're going to do, make sure you've explained it thoroughly to everyone over dinner, where everyone's sitting together and everyone looks at each other and everyone's happy for each other and everyone loves each other. We're not going to fight about this after we're gone, or I'll come back and haunt you people. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Charlie and Rachel are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We live in Park City, Kansas, just outside of Wichita.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you.
Love
and
it
all
here.
the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
We paid off $40,485.
Very good. And how
Yes.
long did that take?
28 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
65 to 80,000.
Cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a police officer with the Wichita Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay at home and have a side gig where I refinish furniture.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So what kind of debt was this $40,000?
It was 2 credit cards, car debt, also braces, and then we also had to cash flow emergency dental care that happened when we were doing when we started the program.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys were kind of normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Just making money and it's all gone.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And 2.5 years ago, 30 months or so ago, something happened. What happened?
We really just got tired of our money just being gone. Like
Yeah.
you said, like every month we live paycheck to paycheck, and at the end of the month, our money went to everybody else except for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think we did Dave-ish for a long time. So we decided,
So you kind of knew Ramsey
Yeah,
stuff.
we did.
Ramsey-ish. You knew what you were doing a little bit, but didn't do it.
yeah.
Right.
And then we went and did the class and just decided that we just needed to go full force and get it done.
So the class gets you off a center, or you went to the class after you got off a center?
No, that we were kind of doing Dave-ish,
Yeah.
and then our friend offered the class,
Oh,
and they
so
said, "Hey, why don't
that's
you-"
game on.
Yeah.
So
That's the gas on the fire.
Right.
It
Okay.
is, yeah, and it was, right at the beginning, the class teacher encouraged us to cut our credit cards up, and I was very hesitant. That was kind of my fallback.
That's when you knew you were ish.
Yes. And then probably a month after the class, I think, I said, you know what, we're going to cut these things up, and we cut them up, and I've never had a credit card again, and I never will.
Right.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah,
Laid the pack of cigarettes down, never pick it up again.
that's exactly
Never
right.
smoking again.
Right.
Exactly, and we've paid cash for everything ever since, and it's been wonderful.
I love it. I love it.
So this past year has been gnarly for stay-at-home moms, for police officers,
Yes.
for people's finances.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys just kept taking another step and another step? What's kept y'all going through a really messy year and a half or 2 years?
Yeah, it was, we were right on track. We planned to pay it off in probably like 20 months, 24 months. And then one weekend, I work extra part-time jobs. I work security at churches,
Oh, yeah.
at baseball games, whatever I can to make more money. And it all stopped. It ended. So, it was really just working together and having that budget and sticking to it that helped us get through it. And it extended it a little bit, but you know what? We're not going to quit.
Yeah, it was a crazy year, like you said. Just within 24 hours, all that extra money that we had worked so hard for, he worked so hard for, was gone because of COVID. And we're thinking, well, that's it. We're just going to be in debt, And then, we had a rough year because of all the turmoil that our country's gone through and the rioting. And so Charlie actually worked so much overtime that we just took all that money and just kept going, just kept throwing it at debt. And then at the end, it actually wasn't that much longer. It was only 4 months past what we had originally planned. So God still provided for us, and it was great. But during that time, there were times where we thought, man, we're not gonna make our goal. It's not gonna happen. But it ended up being great, and we got through it. So
Yeah, and I could say when we first started, just thinking $1,000 a month emergency fund seemed like unreachable for me because it was like at the end of the month you had like $25 left over, and but it's possible.
Yeah.
And in 40,000, if you would ask me when we first started that you're going to pay off 40,000 in 28 months, I would have laughed.
Right.
But we put our minds to it and worked together, and we did it.
yeah,
And you had all these hills and valleys all along the way that you didn't anticipate when you started.
Right.
Once you put down the 40 and said we're doing this, but you didn't know pandemic. You didn't know suddenly you were going to lose all the OT, all the extra job stuff. You didn't know all these challenges were going to come. But what is so interesting to me is that a couple working together as one unit or a person, when they set something very clearly in their mind, and then someone tells them or something tells them, oh, you're not on track, we just automatically adjust our lives to get back on track.
Yeah.
Right.
Once we really believe it. I mean, it's like we cannot, it's something upsetting to our psychology that says, oh, wait a minute, that's already assumed, and I'm not going to unassume it. We're going to do something else.
Right.
And you found another way.
Right.
Exactly.
And God sent you another way. I mean, it's so weird how you the gravitational pull of a clearly defined vision, clearly defined goal is, it's pretty amazing. I'm so proud of y'all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's been great, and I think, in the last 2 years, like our car needed 4 brand new tires all of a sudden, and it was,
No, it didn't. Not all of a sudden.
Well, not all of a sudden, but
They don't wear out all of a sudden.
Right.
right, but we had the money, and we just
Yeah.
put 4 new tires on there.
You realized it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Right.
Those little belt things are waving at you.
Yes, exactly.
When you go out to the, I go out to the garage, that little thing's sticking out there looking at me.
Yeah, we just started paying attention more, and it's
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
what happens when you pay attention and you
Lot
work
che-
together.
lot cheaper than a flat.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
and when the first time we cash flowed our Christmas time
Right.
was amazing, because we really had to strategically figure out, what all is going to be under the tree and things of that
Yeah.
nature for each other. And before, we would just kind of throw it on a credit card and then see where we were at January 1.
Yeah,
But
and our
we-
kids had to learn the word no, which they lived through it. So
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right.
They look like they are still breathing.
I
and
know.
They are.
It's shocking.
Yeah, they're quite alive.
That's
Very
just
cool.
so extraordinary.
What do you guys
two.
tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
It's just working together. And really, I don't think I'm more of the free spirit. And
Yeah.
I like to go to TGI Fridays and have the big steak and potatoes every Friday. And she's more of the conservative one. So it's really working together and staying on that budget, and having that budget every month is really what has kept us there. And being both of us on the same page, I think, is the key
I
for
still
us.
don't like to do the budget, even though I'm the saver. It's stressful, but it has to be done. But then once it's done, it's like, okay, now I have a roadmap. Now this is where we are. This is what we're doing for the month. So it's kind of a crazy feeling, but
Yeah.
I don't know what we would do without the budget now. That's even scarier.
And the security you feel being out of debt and just having a budget, and you having money available for emergencies. I can tell you, husbands, it's good for your spouses to feel that security.
Yeah.
And I could tell the difference when we're at this point we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Financial peace.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. 2 words that don't go together like Fauci math. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty neat, dude. Well done, you guys.
Thank you.
So proud of you. Very,
Thank you.
very well done. And you brought the kiddos. Bring them
did.
up. What are their names and ages? Let's get them in the debt-free
This
screen.
is Brooke, and she's 14. She just turned 14. And
All right.
this is Noah. He's 9.
All right. Good-looking guys. Way to go. Good family. This is fun. You changed their lives, Mom and Dad. You're heroes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yep.
Well
And she's
done.
saving for a car right now. And
Way to
doing
go.
well.
Go,
Doing well.
Brooke. Yeah, good stuff. Well, we got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you. That's the next chapter in your story. You've changed your legacy, and you'll get to read about that and learn more about it as you go. And also an extra copy of the Total Money Makeover, so you can give that away. Like your friends encouraged you guys to go to that Financial Peace University class,
Yes.
and when you went, ding, ding.
Yep.
No more ish.
Right.
Exactly.
Got rid. It's the antidote for ish. There we go. I like it. Good stuff. All right, Charlie and Rachel, Brooke and Noah, Wichita, Kansas, $40,000 paid off in 28 months, making 65 to 80. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
That is fabulous. So well done, you guys.
Incredible. Way to go, guys.
Well done. Yeah! That's how you pull it off. I love it.
2 people with a goal can do anything.
Yeah. It will adjust their lives to hit that goal, because you're going to hit bumps, and you just reset the steering. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from one of America's finest companies, Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee if you order a window blind from them and you screw up the order. You screw up the order, like you mismeasure it. You pick the wrong color. I've done stupid stuff. This company has a you did stupid stuff policy, and they'll fix your blinds, remake them for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run all the time, save even more. Always use the promo code Ramsey, Blinds.com.
All right, today's question comes from Brian in Texas. My girlfriend and I have been together for 6 months. I recently started working with a real estate ELP to buy my first house. I know this is going to turn into a huge fight, but I really don't want to bring my girlfriend into the process. I am the one signing the documents, and I'm the one responsible for the loan. I'd prefer to have the home closed on first and then tell her about it rather than having to explain how she does not get a vote in this process. Please let me know how horrible of a person I am and what the proper way to handle this would be. Whew, what do you think, Dave?
Danger. There's something wrong with your relationship, dude.
That's right. There's something wrong that you don't want to include her. There's something wrong. You think there's going to be a fight. There's something wrong. Yeah, there just seems to be messy. He knows something about her that he's uncomfortable with. Is that fair?
You know what I think?
Huh.
I'm reading. We're both reading between the lines because this is all we've got.
Right.
We got this paragraph.
That's why these are fun.
That's why you can just make up whatever we want.
I can invent
Yeah.
Brian.
Come on.
He's a handsome guy.
Yeah. You can just paint him up how big whatever picture he wants. Yeah. So she is already married in her mind.
Yep.
And he ain't nowhere near close.
And she has a say in what he wears, where they go, what they eat, what his car needs to be clean.
Because they're already married in her mind.
That's right.
And in his mind, well, we're just sort of dating, so you don't get to pick my house.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what the breakdown is.
And on the other side of that,
what was the thing when our kids were teenagers? They called it define the relationship.
DTR.
DTR. Define the relationship.
Yes.
He has not done this.
No, you know why? Because she's already defined it for them.
I know, but they are not on the same wavelength. I'm guessing. I know nothing. I've been married 39 years. I've been out of the market so long. I don't know how this works. Okay, but oh my gosh. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's a red flag to me. If someone's been together 6 months and you want to, I'm not worried about, hey, this is your house, she doesn't get a vote. That's all fine. It's that you are thinking about doing something that's going to bring you this much stress. It's this big of an event in your life, and you want to hide it from her. And that tells me that you guys are not settled in the way y'all communicate, not settled in the way you guys work together. And so you feel like you have to hide, go around her back. Because, Brian, you're being dishonest here. That's the reality. Now, I don't think you're making a bad decision by saying...
Or you're a horrible person.
You're not
a horrible person.
No, not at all.
You might be a drama queen, but you're not a horrible person.
So I think, man, I'd sit down and say, I'm about to buy a house. I've already picked one out, or I'm going to be picking one out. This is my decision. This is going to be a hard conversation, right? Because if I'm dating someone for 6 months and you want to exclude me from this big of a thing, that's a signal to me. Right?
Yeah, that we're not anytime soon going to live in this house together.
Nope. And not only that, you don't even want me to, have input on the sidewalk, right? This is a big signal.
Yeah, I think...
I just want to hug Brian.
I
want to hug Brian.
Okay, so one of two or three things. If I'm right, and they're on different wavelengths on how close this is to marriage and what the probability is this is going to end up in marriage, and is she going to live there? She thinks she's moving in next week. He thinks maybe next decade.
Maybe.
Or maybe you're just my date of the week.
Right.
You're not, so if they're... I think, sir, this might be a cue for you to sit down and define the relationship. For
Absolutely.
the two of you to... And say, and you would just say something like, I was thinking about doing a big decision, and I realized that you were going to maybe want more input in that, and it made me realize we probably weren't on the same track. So I'm not trying to run you off. I like where we are, but I think you're over here, might be over here, and I might be over here.
Right.
And let's get aligned on that. And then if you can get aligned on we're just dating, then it's not offensive for you to buy a house.
And it's never okay.
The second option is this chick is overbearing and a control freak, and you need to run.
And run, don't lie. right?
Yeah. Just go, you don't get a say because you don't get to say anything.
That's right. We're not together anymore, right?
Because I'm not, if I'm already scared of you and I'm not married, this is a problem.
That's the big neon sign, right?
Yeah,
but I hear this all the time. Like,
I go to play golf on Saturday or Sunday morning, and the golf guy let me go out first because I was by myself because Sharon had the grandbabies. And I had to play real fast by myself before they woke up, and she got to care for them by herself because it's a tag team event when you have 3 grandbabies, right? So, in other words, I got to get back to the house or I'm in trouble, and this golf game is not going to have gone well for my day. You follow me?
Yep.
So I'm standing there with these 3 old guys, and they had me up with them. I said, guys, y'all let me go 3 minutes. I'll be out of your way. You'll never see me again. I'm going to play so fast. It's blinding. And they go, oh, yeah, we understand. We're scared of our wives, too. But it was like 4 old guys on the golf tee, old men wife joke, right?
Right.
And nobody's serious. I'm not scared of my wife.
Of course. Right.
But he's scared of her.
That's right. And his fear is
reaction.
His fear is making him become a person who lacks integrity.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Have the hard conversation.
You're not a horrible person.
No.
You don't be a drama queen and don't be cowardly. Just face it.
Dude, she's going to find out anyway.
Yes.
You're going to buy a house.
It's like, oh, yeah, that thing 4 months ago, I forgot to tell you, I don't live there anymore.
So you're going to have a hard conversation now or a hard conversation plus one about how you lied to her next month?
Exactly.
Either way, have it, dude.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
Brian.
You know what, though? This is one of those things. We're talking about marriage and money in the first segment and how you and Rachel doing this money and marriage event. This side's tied together.
That's right.
Because now he's making a financial decision, and what is it doing? It's reflecting. He didn't have a question about how to do the mortgage. He didn't have a question about whether he could afford the house. He didn't have a money question. He had a relationship question. What was it surfaced by? A money decision.
Right. And then his response to dealing with that money decision is making him
it's revealing.
It's revealing. There you go. It's revealing in him a default setting to I'm going to hide. I'm going to lie. I'm going to put things in the drawer so she can't see them. Right. And so it's this. The money reveals the character, and character reveals the money. It all works together.
Yeah. And he's not a person of lacking integrity.
No, not at all.
But all this is it just signals problems with the relationship.
Absolutely.
There's some kind of problem. Either she's an overbearing control freak, or you guys are on different lanes, or there's a third possible option. I don't know what it is, but those are the 2 that come to my mind.
And now listen, Brian, next week when I'm in here with you, Dave, and we get a Blinds.com question from angry girlfriend in Texas.
Yeah.
Who said, you guys told my boyfriend to dump me. That's not what we're saying. Just have a hard conversation.
Yeah, well, no. If she's a control freak, I said no. I didn't say that. Listen, if the whole thing comes down to she has to control your decisions after 6 months,
you're out.
This ain't getting better.
You're done. No.
This is not going to get better. This is no thank you. Or vice versa. It doesn't matter whether it's boyfriend or girlfriend.
That's right.
If he's controlling all of her decisions, run,
marry
girl.
him.
Run, girl.
It doesn't fix after the wedding.
It's not going to get anything but worse.
That's right.
So there you go. And like all money things and relationship things do share this in common too, that you and Rachel doing that money and marriage event together. If you extrapolate the decision and expand it, the results of the decision. In other words, you say, I'm going to reach 10 years out from this decision. How does it affect me? And I'm going to make it 100 times larger. So these relationship issues in this email, in this Blinds.com question, 100 times bigger and 10 years from now. And so the house had nothing to do with it. It was just the revealing point that says, okay, are you going to lie to your wife for 10 years about purchases?
Right.
Are you going to, because you're afraid of her reaction?
Are you going to hide?
Or are you going to be, are you going to live with someone who's going to try to control all your decisions, and you can't come to a meeting of the minds and discuss things and negotiate through them? Right. These are things you reach out past just this decision, and sometimes the answers go ding, 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 ding.
Real
ding.
clear. That's right.
Yeah, they just open up for you. Wow.
You got it, Brian.
You can do it, man. You got this. I'm glad you do, not me, but you got this. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken is host of The Ken Coleman Show, which airs on SiriusXM as a podcast and over 75 radio stations across North America, answering your questions about your career, your job, finding work that matters and work that has meaning and plugging into it, moving ahead in the career that you've already got, all of those kinds of questions. The income side of the equation, where I always deal with the outgo side just about, so we're here to answer both sides of the equation and help you out. The phone number, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour, Sammy in Atlanta. Hi, Sammy. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, probably 2 years ago, my wife and I got serious about paying off our $80,000 debt. We're down to $29,000. 4 years ago, I left the public teaching to go to private. So I left $30,000 in a TRS fund and kind of forgot about it. So after 4 years, it doesn't gain anything, and I'm not contributing. So I have to move it over. So my wife and I want to know if we can use that to get 6 months ahead and pay the $9,000 penalty and take that money and go ahead and be debt-free.
Well, you can, but I wouldn't borrow money at 30% interest to pay off your debt.
Correct.
So I wouldn't. I mean, you know, if you call me up and said, hey, I have a bank that'll loan me the money. It cost me $9,000 to borrow 30 so I can pay off this other debt. And I'm going to just prepay all the interest, $9,000. You wouldn't even ask me that question.
Right.
And it's the same thing, dude. You're about to give the government a third of your money for no apparent reason other than you just want to be out of debt really bad, which I really want you out of debt bad too, but I don't want you out of debt 33% bad.
Right. It's just we're looking at being able to be 6 months ahead of the next step, which would be more than the 9 we would be losing, but it's still losing 9.
If I suggested to you that you borrow money from a bank at 30% interest to pay off your debt, and you said, I don't want to do that, and I said the answer was, you're looking at 6 months, you're going to be out 6 months sooner, you would say, Ramsey, you've lost your dadgum mind.
Right.
But that was your comeback.
Yeah, no, I already knew the answer before I actually called, but excited to be this far along in the journey.
Hey, man, I'm with you. I want you out. So you're going to be out. You're going to be out. It's just going to be 6 months slower, and I'll give you a prediction. It's going to be 4 months slower because you're over this. You're ready to be done. No, take your old retirement and roll it to an IRA with a SmartVestor Pro. Don't pay any taxes on it, and let it grow from this point without taxes. And you're going to love that you did that later. That's a better move long term. Don't give the government a third of your money. It just doesn't make sense. And you can ask the question 6 different ways, and I'm still going to give you the same answer every time. That's the strange thing about me, Ken.
Yeah, you kind of know what you believe, why you believe it.
It's fairly consistent.
Very consistent.
It's ridiculously boring.
By the way, that's a general rule of thumb. That's the correct answer and a very specific answer to his question, but it's always a good rule of thumb to try to avoid giving the government any of your money. It's always a good place to start.
Let's just start and assume they suck at handling money.
Right.
So any money you give to them falls under the heading of bad stewardship.
Right.
God is not pleased
with
me when I send them money because they mishandle it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to send it to anybody else that mishandles it either, if I can help it. So, because it's my job is to handle it well. Yeah. So, yeah, just they suck at anything having to do with money. Just it's that simple. There's not any, how many times do you hear the word government and efficiency in the same sentence unless there's an in front of it, like inefficiency? Yeah, you just don't hear them in the same sentence. It doesn't come up. So, no, don't send them money. Keep the money for yourself.
Yes.
It's always better. It's always better. You're not being patriotic. It's just bad. It's just ugly. Don't send them money. They're not good with it.
Yeah.
Clay's in Austin, Texas. Hey, Clay, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
My wife and I are thinking about downsizing into an RV, selling our house and downsizing into an RV. We did this before we had kids, and now we have kiddos. And we're kind of wondering if it's a good idea. I mean, I know the market's hot right now to sell our house, so we'll make some money on it and probably get out of debt. I haven't put complete pen to paper because I don't know what we're actually going to make on it.
How many kids and how old are
we
they?
Should be. I've got 2 kids. They're 4 and 6.
Okay. And your motivation for doing this is what?
Getting out of debt.
No. Don't do it.
No?
No. 2 reasons. 4 and 6 in an RV. Reason number 3.
Yeah.
RVs go down. That was 2 reasons. RV goes down in value. No.
We already have the RV.
Oh, it still goes down in value.
Yeah. Well,
Now you don't own any appreciating assets. You only own depreciating assets.
Okay.
Is the RV paid for?
Yes.
What do you owe on it? Oh, no, I'm sorry. What's it worth?
No,
What's
the
it worth?
RV
What's it
is
worth?
paid for.
What's it worth?
About $15,000.
Okay, cool. All right. And what's your household income?
About 55, depending on overtime.
Good for you. Okay. Well, much like our last caller, I love the motivation to be debt-free. I'm with you on that. I'm not willing to pay the price that you're willing to pay. I love my grandbabies. The idea of being stuck with 2 of them in an RV for the rest of my life until they grow up is suicidal for me. I just couldn't do it. One of us would die.
Yeah, what's your timeline?
I'm not talking to do it for the rest of our life. I was talking about I forgot to say we're trying to move to a different city and do it that way.
Okay.
For how long?
Buying a new
Well,
house.
how long are you going to be in the RV?
We're expecting 2 years max, maybe 3.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. You're a grown up. You called and asked me what I would do. I personally could not do that, would not do that. I don't think the financials are that great on what you're talking about. I don't think it's like a big windfall. And the lifestyle of it, I just couldn't do. I mean, I've got friends that RV. I got friends that have, I can think of one right now who's got 3 kids and they RV. And it's an adventure. They live everywhere and they do it on purpose. But they're not doing it so they can get out of debt. They're doing it because they love being on the road, that kind of stuff. But would the Ramseys have done that when we were on our get out of debt journey? The answer is there wouldn't be any Ramseys if we had done that. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. According to the United States Census Bureau, nearly 1 in 10 people relocated last year, and that was in 2020. That means this year, there's a good chance you or someone you know is going to move. Feels like 1,000 unknowns out there when you're moving, but you can't lose focus on one of the most important personal and financial factors in your move, and that's housing. I recommend getting a quality real estate agent like one of our endorsed local providers, our ELPs, in your corner to help you navigate this cray-cray market we're in. This market is nutty. And, most of the stuff I'm reading says it may have peaked in May. And it's maybe June is going to be hot, but it's slowing down. It's still going to be a hot market, depending on where you live and what the situation is. But it's a good time to sell and a crazy time to buy. And not saying you can't buy, but it's nutty out there. And it's not amateur hour, baby. You don't need somebody sold 3 houses last year to help you with this deal. This is too freaking complicated to navigate this. So get a Ramsey Trusted Agent. What you do is go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. And you can get the people we trust here at Ramsey to help you with that. A Ramsey Trusted Agent, RamseySolutions.com/agent. Mark is in Springfield, Illinois. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I've got a good situation to be in where family income is around $600,000, and trying to figure out for baby step 4, our retirement accounts don't equal up to 15%. Last year, what I had done was put some of it in an index fund to make up the rest of it, but I was trying to figure out if it would be more appropriate to just put the rest of it straight onto the house instead of putting it into an index to try to equal 15%.
What a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living, dude?
I'm a ER doc, and wife's still in residency.
Oh, okay. All right. So both of you aren't going to be MDs. Okay. Yeah. So it's not going to get anything but better, hopefully.
It took a bit of a hit last year with the COVID stuff, but it still went just fine.
Yeah. But nothing. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you owe on your home?
It's down to around 100. We just kind of got a little starter home to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Well, what I would do is, you can play with this back and forth if you want. The point being that you should be at baby step 7 instantaneously, and then you should save and pay cash for your next home, which keeps you at baby step 7. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, that was actually what we were thinking for the index fund, was that was going to be...
Yeah, how much is in the index fund?
It's about 29 now. 24 of that was principal that we put in last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind cleaning all of that out, and other cash you can lay your hands on, just knocking the 100 out. And then what you need to do is you need to budget and say, I'm going to invest systematically X%, and the rest I'm going to pile up to pay cash for the move-up house. Once I've paid cash for that house, then there's nothing left to do but invest. And be generous and enjoy some of it. But there's no way you're going to be able to consume what's going to end up being close to $1 million income.
Correct. Yeah, no, that is right what we're looking at for it. And
yeah,
we'll see if she's doing full-time or not when she gets out, because we're in a very good spot. But
yeah, you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do. But my point is, you at baby step 7, you just invest. And so you can invest more than 15%, less than 15%, or whatever. And so, you're not, like I've got a friend that makes $1.6 million a year. Okay. And we were looking at his stuff the other day. He was asking me similar questions. And I said, well, number one, you're at baby step 7. So the 15% doesn't apply anymore. It's invest. And so then you just start saying, okay, what are my investment goals? Because your consumption goals, unless you're just a weird, like you're some kind of rock star or something, and you're just spending out your ears like dysfunctionally, you're not going to consume much of $1.6 million, or $1 million. You're going to consume some of it, but you're going to enjoy it. But then you're going to be highly generous and highly investing. And that's the only 3 things you can do with it is consumption, enjoy it, and invest and be generous. So it doesn't matter if it's 8%, because that's still $80,000 a year, you know? So you just lay out some percentages and say how quickly do we want to have a $10 million net worth? And having $1 million income, you ought to have a $10 million net worth.
Yeah, this is the 600 in a new development for us since I just got out of residency a couple years ago. So it's been a fun
But what
time
I'm saying is I laid the baby steps out to extrapolate 25 years into the future for you. And all I'm telling you to do is whatever percentages you put on consumption, investment, and generosity, just make sure they extrapolate with $1 million income out 10 years from now, and you got $10 million net worth.
Sounds good.
And I don't care if that's 2.6% investment or 12.6% investment, but do it on purpose. That's the trick. The intentionality is the thing, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, like you said, when we get to baby step 7, now that whole phrase, living like no one else, I mean, you're investing so much. I mean, you just got tremendous impact at that point with whatever you do with your money that is within reason and very smart and very wise. And congratulations to them. I mean, this is
wonderful.
Well, you know what else I like? I want to call out, he pointed out, you know, he didn't do the normal doctor thing. They got a starter house. They got a smaller house, and as a result, his wife is finishing residency, and they only owe $100,000 on this first house. They're going to knock that out, and with their income, be able to pay cash for, you know, your probably normal doctor house. And so credit to them.
Wouldn't have been shocked to hear his house was $1.5 million.
No, you wouldn't have. It's very normal. And so congrats.
For a $600,000 income.
Yeah, fantastic income. But, boy, I love the discipline there, and what a path they're on. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the time that old MD thing paid off right there.
Yeah,
that's
right. That's right.
Very good. Peter is with us. Peter is in Raleigh, North Carolina. And, hey, Peter, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Awesome. My question is very similar to the previous caller, not the 600,000 guy, but the other guy about the RV. But my wife and I, we've been on the baby steps for about a year. We've been married 2 years. And we're looking to save extra money moving into an RV on their family farm. We're paying $1,100 in rent right now. We make about gross $75,000 a year, and we have a baby come December with $18,000 in student loans, and we're just trying to figure out if that's a good idea or not.
So the parents own the RV, and it's on their farm. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, they got about 100 acres, and they kind of offered us to move in there because we really want to get the debt paid before the baby comes, and
so how long?
Saved up as well.
What's the plan with the new baby to live in the RV on the farm? How long?
Maybe 2 years.
Again, as Dave said to the previous caller, you can do whatever you want. It's not like this is a bad decision. It certainly has good financial opportunities. I'm assuming you're living rent-free. Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah, we would just pay for utilities, whatever it costs to.
The RV's in North Carolina?
It is, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years, long time to live with a baby in an RV, even a little one, just one. I just think that's I probably wouldn't do it, but, you know, how fast, what's the difference it's going to make? What if you've played this out?
1 year.
1 year difference.
That's what I said.
1 year,
Yeah.
Well, I think, too, our thinking is she'll be closer to her family when the baby comes because I'm working about 60 hours a week right now with UPS. And so she will be closer to her family, and that's kind of a concern, too, because we're about 30 minutes away from them. And I'm kind of gone a lot during the night.
We're
out here till 9, 10 o'clock.
You can do what you want to do. Dave and Sharon Ramsey would not have done that. Again, we're not, I don't think it's bad. I don't think you're making a bad decision. It's a lifestyle decision. An RV in North Carolina in December is cold. It's hard to keep it warm. And I'm not living in there with a baby. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Jason and Heather are with us. Hey, guys, welcome.
Hi.
Hey,
How
Dave.
are
Hey,
you?
Ken.
Good to have you guys. Where do you guys live?
We live in Greenfield Center, New York, right near Saratoga Springs.
Wow, bit of a haul to Nashville.
Yep.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, welcome. It's good to have you guys. And all the way down south to do a debt-free scream.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
How much have you guys paid off?
$185,000, Dave.
Woo! How long did that take?
It took us 30 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
$185,000 to $235,000.
Cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a regional sales manager for a building materials manufacturer.
I'm a health coach and a personal trainer.
Ah, very cool. So building materials might have been interesting to sell this year.
It's been an interesting ride. It's been crazy.
Bars of gold are cheaper than 2x4s.
Yep. And vinyl siding and PVC trim for me.
Yeah, well, same thing.
Yeah.
Oil-based, oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's just crazy, I'm sure. I'm sure the prices went nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They still are.
Wow. So what kind of debt was $185,000?
We had a couch. We had 3 cars. We had 5 credit cards. We had some personal loans, some fitness equipment, and somebody's college loans.
Somebody sitting off camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be named later.
All right. Yeah, we'll get into this a little bit. So you guys were normal.
Very.
Making a lot of money and spending even more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What was the wake-up call?
So I dates back to the beginning of the marriage when I took over the finances, and I was always mainly the breadwinner. She stayed home with the girls for a long period of time, and I felt financially responsible for everything. But we had credit cards, and when we ran out of money, groceries would go on the credit cards. And then, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, somebody had given me the Total Money Makeover, and I read it. So I knew conceptually about the snowball. And then I was doing the finances one day at the beginning of the 30-month period, and I made the spreadsheet. I did it all. And then 8 months went by, and I paid off about $2,000. So at that same time, I was training for a marathon. I wanted to listen to maybe like a business or finance podcast. I found you, and I think I was running 8 or 9 miles that day, and so I got to listen to a lot of debt-free screams and a lot of callers. But then I literally got in the truck and I ran home, and I told Heather that the sky was falling and that we were in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow.
He came home. He was in panic mode. And
wow.
Yeah. So
it wasn't from having run 8 miles.
No. Yeah. No. And, I didn't even realize how bad things were. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. Yeah.
So it was just like the information just smacked you.
Yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I felt
overwhelmed.
I felt like a failure to myself, to my wife, to my kids.
I remember that feeling. I remember it, and and the weird thing is the numbers didn't change, just your attitude about them did.
Yeah.
During the 8 mile run, nothing was different.
No.
It's true.
It's just the way you looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just went, oh, this sucks. I didn't realize how bad this sucks. Because you're a sales guy. What you were doing was probably what I've always done before I had that moment, and that was I've always tried to out-earn my stupidity. I thought I could just make a little more.
That's all I did, and I've always done side jobs, construction, and that kind of kicked in during the pandemic because nobody was traveling and everybody wanted a new deck. So I've got all the tools, and I went out and did that. And at the same time, as you said, building materials were going crazy. The only thing is I had to do everything via Zoom from home, so it was a little bit of an adjustment.
Wow. So you come home from that epiphany run.
Yeah.
And Heather, what did you say?
Well, I was in denial, and part of me was just thinking like, well, everybody has debt, it's not that bad, So I was scared, but I was also just kind of pretending it wasn't all that bad. Yeah. We'll get out of this.
Yeah. So did you sell anything, or you just cash flowed every bit of this?
We cash flowed a lot of it.
Yeah.
She actually closed down her fitness studio, and we sold off some fitness equipment that we had loans on that brought in about $14,000.
Yep.
But she closed it down in February right before the pandemic, so the timing could not have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Except
That
that,
helped.
that fitness equipment was very valuable during the pandemic.
We wish we had held on to it a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
that's true.
We sold too soon.
Good time to close the business, bad time to sell the equipment.
Right.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
It's still not a bad time, but just later on, people gone crazy because you can't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, you guys, what a cool journey.
Yeah. I love asking this question. So in this moment where he comes home, we have the discussion, there's a lot of fear there. You can still hear the emotion on you as you just recounted it.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, was there a moment where this thing went from fear to, we're making some progress? What was that moment?
Yeah, that's actually when I came on board, because at first I was like, okay, this sounds like a really good idea, but we're never going to be able to do this. I didn't believe it until I started seeing the progress, and I started seeing, the first one get paid off, and the second one I'm like, oh, this might work. And then I got excited. Yeah.
Taking full commission checks and throwing it at it was, it got easier actually.
Chunking it.
Because we saw the progress.
And, the pandemic actually helped us because we didn't do it, we were just home. And so his commission checks, all of our money, our girls play basketball, AAU basketball, it's very expensive. We took all that money and put it at the debt.
Yeah, just like that. Boom. I love it. Well, personal finance is 80% behavior. It's 20% head knowledge. You're both fitness geeks, obviously, from 8 mile runs, fitness studio, so did you see a parallel between the natural discipline that you teach and you both have, not natural, but the decided discipline in the physical realm or physical fitness realm? Did you see the parallel back to the money piece?
Absolutely. Yeah. We talk about it all the time.
Our meetings I could never get her to sit down and look at a spreadsheet. She would just glaze over and start staring off into space. But so we started running every Friday morning together.
That was
early.
our meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. We have pictures of ourselves totally frozen running in 19 below weather. But that's where we had our dream conversations and our finance conversations, and that's where she was in her element. So
yeah.
But that's
we had to
where
keep talking about it, and that's what made it, real. That's what made it work.
Well, and you're also you got a little adrenaline going then, so it's not bad.
Absolutely, absolutely. Get those endorphins going.
You're kind of hopeful as opposed to depressed.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
good.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good for you guys. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, a couple things. I mean, I think just like losing weight, like what I teach people, you have to have a deep why. Why are we doing this? What we just want to save some money. I mean, it has to be much deeper than that. And our life has improved.
What was your why?
So much. My why.
What was your all's why?
Our why was just for a better life, to not have that debt over our head and that stress, the stress it was putting on our marriage. We are so much happier as a family now. Yeah,
for me, I mean, it was obviously the why with the, our kids, changing our legacy, our family tree is important. And I was always telling them when they got their job that they were going to, they should save half of what they make and put it in the bank. And I wasn't living by those principles. So that's part of me feeling like a fraud. So, the fact that we were able to reach over and at the end and pay off almost $40,000 of college loans between Parent Plus and her loans, and we're cash flowing everything now is pretty special. So
yeah, there's a big one.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're celebrating on this trip.
Yeah.
Good job,
as a family.
you guys. Well, I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
well
Dave.
done.
Thank you so much.
You're an incredible couple. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Brought the kiddos with you. What are their names
Sure
and
did.
ages?
So we have Caroline, and she is almost 20, and Lauren's birthday is in about a week. She'll be 16.
Okay, we got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you and the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and help somebody. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Woo! Yeah! There it is, baby. This is how it's done. Whoop, 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 whoop. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Joe is with us in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. How you doing?
Great. How can we help?
Good. I'm just calling because I'm in a little bit of a predicament, and I just want to see what your guys' suggestion was. So I have a full-time job, and I also do financial coaching on the side, and I've gotten to the point to where my coaching is actually making more money than my full-time job, which is great. And I have a baby on the way with my family, and I'm just like in this point where I'm dependent on both incomes in order to provide and, make my goals happen and everything like that. And my full-time job, I like it, but I'm just not passionate about it. But I'm afraid of making that leap to where, with me being dependent on both incomes, I might not be able to make that happen. Might not be able to make it provide. So,
now, what were you doing before you had the second income? How were you making it?
Well, before the second income, I was renting, and I had a really good low rent. Now we own a home, and I was also single at the time too. So, now I have one stepdaughter and one on the way, and it was feasible at that point.
Yeah, what's your day job, and how much do you make?
I make about $40 a year with the day job,
and about $40 a year on the other.
About 50.
About 50 on the other. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're dependent on this, then you got to stay. I mean, the reason you're afraid is because sometimes fear is telling us, hey, back away from the ledge, because if I fall over the ledge, it's going to be really bad. And so if you're truly dependent on this, I mean, $90K is really good. And if your financial coaching has grown to this point from 0 to $50K, then it stands to reason, as committed as you are, and the fact that you've now proven this, it's going to continue to grow. So I would stay in the day job until we aren't dependent on it anymore. I mean, that, at its simplest, that's what the answer's got to be. And I'm glad you've called on this, because I know you don't have any passion for the day job, but that's why I call it the day job. And, people need to understand that there is no dream job without several day jobs. I don't hear of many stories other than your random reality show stories like that, where you just immediately step into the dream job. So I'd stay in it and get through this baby, keep rocking it, and then keep socking money away. Let's just play this thing out. And when you start to feel like, oh, I don't have any passion for the day job, I want to do this coaching thing, well, what you need to do is have a real dose of gratitude. Boy, I'm grateful for this day job, because it is the platform by which I have been able to stand on, and I will eventually step off of into the dream job. So I don't think it's that much further away. If you are conservative, what do you think the projection looks like to step into this financial coaching full time?
Yeah, because you're going to increase your financial coaching income, and you're going to decrease your lifestyle until the two meet.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, so once the baby comes, before we knew that we were pregnant, we were bringing in an extra probably, $1,500 to $2,500 a month extra, depending on the month. So I was in a really good position, and I was thinking about making that leap. But now the baby's here, I'm like, well, I have to save for the baby. So now I'm kind of thinking like, okay, maybe once the baby does come, then I can make that jump. And in the meantime, I got 6 months, so I can keep building that. And
here's the thing: if you're having to make a jump, you don't do it. You can make a step.
But
you don't need to make a jump.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, get in your budget. You're pretty disciplined with your budget, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So the budget's going to tell you when it's time. This is not I don't know, lick my finger, stick it in the wind, and see which way I go. No, this is a budget answer. The budget will tell you when you can move from the day job to the dream job. Do not overthink this. And listen, when you start to feel impatient, get back to clarity on why I do the day job, what the day job has provided for me, how much longer I've got to go, and then you can stay with it.
Yeah, you can say, there's only 3 miles left in this 13.1 half marathon, and you can gut your way through the last 3 miles. But you if you just go, I've got to run for the rest of my life, then you're going to stop.
Yep.
So you need to see the end of it by increasing your income on the financial coaching and decreasing your lifestyle so that the two can cross and you can quit. And maybe, and I really think this is the case, the baby is going to be a lot less expensive than somehow you've got it in your head that a kid is. Sandy's in Kansas City. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Hi. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
My husband and I have a little bit of a discrepancy. We're both in our 70s. I'm retired. He is semi-retired. He works part-time. We have always paid, ever since we've been married, we've always paid an extra $100 on our mortgage and a month just on the principal. I found that it, brings the mortgage down really, really rapidly. And my husband, because of our age, and we lost a lot of money in the markets, our financial advisor, we didn't get out in time. And
whoa. Just stop right there.
Whoa. Okay.
You lost a lot of money because you didn't get out in time. I didn't get out at all, and I haven't lost a dime.
Well, we didn't get out in, what was it, 85?
1985?
No. What was it when the market, 05, when the markets went bottom?
6 and 5, yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had all of our money invested with a financial planner.
And you didn't leave it?
No, we left it. It stayed there, but we just never came back.
Well, yes, it has.
Well, ours didn't.
Honey, the market is ninefold what it was in 2006.
Yeah, it is now. We're not in it now. We got out probably 5 or 6 years after that crash because we lost half of everything we had, and it scared us. And he seemed to want to keep putting us in more risky stuff, and we got. Maybe it was our fault. Maybe we kind of panicked a little bit. But we took that money then, and we've got it in an annuity.
Okay, so how much is that? How much is that nest egg today?
We've got $400,000.
And how much do you owe on your mortgage?
We owe about $96,000.
Okay, I would. And you're 70. You're 70 years old.
I'm 74, and my husband's 76.
Okay, and do you have income in addition to the nest egg? Do you have like pension and Social Security?
We're getting Social Security, and we're taking money out of my life insurance policy. This is what it was set up for. We set it up to be able to draw money off of it. Plus, we also have an annuity that we're getting money off.
So you have a whole life insurance policy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you've got so many things going on here that I don't know if I can address them all, but I'll give it a shot. Okay. Number one, I would have you sit down with a financial advisor like a SmartVestor Pro. Click SmartVestor Pro at Ramsey and RamseySolutions.com and see if you can get some help, because you're not going to get a radio answer in 1 minute that's going to do everything. I would get rid of the whole life policy. I would take the cash value out. I would invest that. I would look at these investments and see how they're invested, because you've apparently panicked and have not gotten good advice or haven't followed it. And you've taken it on the chin on your investing. If you have $400,000 and if you can live off of the Social Security income, and depending on what the cash value is in this rip-off whole life policy that you love right now, but when you understand the numbers on it, you're going to hate it. I'm going to pay off your house today out of some of this money. I'm going to scrape together some of this money and I'm going to pay off your house today. And when you're debt-free and you have $300 or $400, depending on what this cash value is and depending on what these annuities are and other things, and you put that in a pile, you can live off of that income with no house payment at all. And so I disagree with both you and your husband. I'd be out of debt. As soon as you get all this organized and understand it, as quickly as I could get it all cashed in and moved around, I would be out of debt immediately, house and everything. And then that sets you in a whole different place of peace of mind for your retirement, and I think you'll be just fine. You will not be fine if you don't quit jumping in and out of the market depending on what day you panic. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section, or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book The Proximity Principle, host of The Ken Coleman Show, where he talks about careers and jobs and getting work you love and work that matters. He is my co-host today as we take your calls. The phone number, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Michael's with us in Wisconsin. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good, Dave. Hi, Ken. Just got a quick question for you here. I recently, about a year ago, left my job and they had a pension there through the Wisconsin retirement system. It's a 401A plan. There's about $60,000 in it. I know you always recommend to roll that over when you leave or take it to a personal investment. I'm wondering if I should do that. In leaving that plan, you lose the employer contribution, which is about 50%. So that'd be $30,000. I'm wondering what my best move is, if I let it sit and access it when I'm able to and I'd be eligible to, which is age 50, or I'm 30 years old right now, or do I take that out and take a portion and the loss and invest it?
The 401k plan at your old company does not vest your matching until you're 50?
It's a 401A.
I know, but that just means after tax is all that means.
Yeah.
They don't vest your matching?
True. Yes, correct.
That's asinine. Okay. And it's how much money?
$60,000.
That's the match portion.
$30,000 is mine. $30,000 is their match.
Okay, and what's it invested in?
It's distributed. Oh, geez. I don't even know what the breakdown is. They are pretty limited on what they give you. You don't get to choose your investments in that plan.
Yeah, and how old are you?
Everyone's invested. 30.
You don't get to choose the investments in your plan?
Negative. It's a pension plan to the state.
Okay, here's what's running through my head, and then you can decide what you want to do. You're how old now again?
30.
30.
30 years old.
Okay, so for 20 years, you either are going to have $30,000, $60,000, underperforming, sucking,
Mm-hmm.
60,000, or you're going to have 30,000 performing well.
Yeah.
In good mutual funds.
I figured that was the route you were going to go.
And I don't know which one's going to end up with more money. Is wait a minute. Yes, I do. The 30,000 will double if you've got it invested at 10%. If your mutual funds perform at 10%, which they should, it will double about every 7 years. And so it would double 3 times in 21 years. So it would go from 30 to 60 to, okay, I can do this. Wait a minute. It'll go from 30 to 60 to 120 to 240. Okay? That'll be your 30,000. It'll double 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. That's it. Okay. Now, 60, let's say it's making, I don't know. You have any guess what the stupid thing's making?
I would guess. I've looked at the averages over the course of the last, say, 40 years. Put it all together, I think I came out with like a 7 or an 8% average. So
okay, at 7%, it'll double every 10 years.
Okay.
So 60 would be 120, would be 240. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your 30 will grow to as much as that 60 will grow if you invest it at 10% or greater versus 7% in a 20-year period of time. I actually could do the math. That's crazy. I did it. But okay, but so And here's the other thing. There's a philosophical, spiritual thing that happens when you take control of your money and someone else is not in control of it. In other words, you've kind of got it tucked over here in this underperforming, crappy thing, or you take it out and you say, I'm responsible, da-da-da-da-da. My destiny is in my hands, da-da-da-da-da. And there's something that happens in that inside of you, assuming you take control and you take your destiny in your own hands, then you will end up with more. And so when there's a tie, I always take my money and figure I'm my best shot, not the freaking state government. I'm my best shot. And in case of a tie. Now, if this had been double leaving it with the state, I would have held my nose and left it there. But it's going to come out about the same, plus or minus the I'm in control of my own destiny factor. And Ken, we see that when in lots of areas of people's lives, that when you take personal responsibility, when you take control, when you say this is if it's to be, it's up to me thing, and you shoulder the wheel, you put your shoulder to the wheel, we see a change in their careers, we see a change in their marriages, we see a change in their money.
Yeah, engagement is what's going on there is now I'm engaged. If it's just sitting there and the government's handling money, well, everything's passive. If I'm handling it, it's not passive anymore. It's active. And that is an engagement issue. And I absolutely couldn't agree more. When someone takes responsibility for their health, their marriage, their parenting, and you become very engaged, well, all of a sudden, you feel the pain, you feel the victories. Everything has got so much more personal of involvement in it, and there's no question that's going to win for him, because now he's looking at that. He's got his dashboard, set up with the SmartVestor Pro, and he's watching that thing grow. He's also adding to that $30,000 as well. So yeah, I think that's the right move.
Well, you're going to be doing that, in your other accounts and your other retirement things. But that 30,
yeah, he can make
versus that 60.
Yeah,
they both should end up.
And I don't trust the government, Dave. I'll be honest. I don't know it like you know it, but I don't know. Could the state screw that up?
Oh yeah, they could screw it up.
Okay, so that to me is another reason.
Look at the finances of a state.
Exactly.
How badly, if you're in Illinois, be very afraid. So
yeah, that's even more reason to take the 30 out.
Math eludes them. So yeah, it's. You got states like the state of Tennessee is very well run.
Right.
In terms of the business aspects of the state. So you don't have to sit and tremble about it. But there's some of these states' pension funds are in trouble.
Oh,
because the state is they just suck. Yeah. At running these things. So yeah, that's another factor in there. I wasn't even thinking about the failure side of it. I was more thinking about the upside.
Yeah.
But yeah, this idea, it's a good word, engagement. There's something happens. People that engage an area of their life are 100% of the time more successful in that area than people who wait on someone else to fix that area of their life. That's what it comes down to. 100% of the time. Now get with the SmartVestor Pro and roll that puppy over. This is the Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. If you're in debt, we know you can feel like you're fighting a losing battle. It gets scary. If you feel like you're stuck, you can't get ahead no matter what you do, you're scared. I know how that feels. I've been there. It doesn't have to be this way. When you attack debt like your life depends on it, with a system that's proven, you can take back your paycheck. You can get control of your life. We'll help you get there. We've done it with almost 10 million people in Financial Peace University. In this class, you learn our proven plan that's helped millions of people pay off their debt really fast, and you'll never make the changes that you need to do unless you stick to a budget. And that's why you also get the premium version of our budgeting tool, Every Dollar. And all of this is available with a Ramsey Plus membership. So you want to go to Financial Peace University, you want the Every Dollar budgeting tool, you want some online coaching, you want some of the other classes that we've got, you want access to some of the live events like the Money and Marriage event coming up July 16th. All of that is part of the Ramsey Plus membership. So you can get ahead. It's possible. You can do this. Start your free trial of Ramsey Plus. Text TRIAL to 33789. Text TRIAL to 33789. Patrick is with us in New York. Hi, Patrick. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Coleman, it's a pleasure. Thank you for taking my call.
Our pleasure, sir. How can we help?
So I have been blessed recently. I lost my father years ago. I've just lost my grandmother, but I am blessed in the fact that I am going to be inheriting what my father would have inherited. So I am going to be gifted $500,000 from my grandmother, her estate. I started following your program in October. I've paid off 2 cars since. I've read the Total Money Makeover. And I've also contacted a SmartVestor Pro. My issue lies within, I can run through the baby steps in one shot, but then what do I do after that?
Wow. How old are you?
It's a lot to take in.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay. And what's your household income?
Between my wife and I is $150.
Excellent. Excellent. And so after you pay off all your debt, your home, you have an emergency fund in place, and put money aside for kids' college if that applies, how much money of the $500,000 will you have left?
Probably about half, because I have $160 on the mortgage, $90 on the student loans.
Okay. All right. And you have children?
I do. I always make the joke I have 2 mortgages and only 1 house because I have 2 children in daycare.
Okay. So we'd set aside some of the remaining $250 for kids' college with a SmartVestor Pro. And then the rest of it we're going to begin to invest and to enjoy. Once you reach baby step 7 is everything's paid off. Now we're going to obviously fully fund all retirement that's available to you. Keep the government's hands off of any money you can. 401ks, Roth IRAs, anything you can do. You keep fully fund everything. But that really comes out of your budget, which will be easy to do because you don't have a single bill in the world now. Okay? And college, you set college aside with a SmartVestor Pro out of this. And so, you're probably going to have, $150,000 or more, a little bit more left. And then what you need to do is say there's 3 things you can do with money in baby step 7. You can give it with generosity, and you should. You can enjoy it and spend some of it on you guys, lifestyle, and you should. And you can invest it, some of it, and you should. And so if you say we're going to spend X on something for enjoyment, we're going to do this piece of generosity and get the levers starting to pull to where we have the rhythm of generosity ongoing in our life from this point forward. Then you invest a chunk, and you're probably just looking for some good mutual funds to invest in at this stage of the game because you're not going to really have a big pile of money left by the time we do all of those different things.
Correct. Now, is that just kind of like a line budget item? Because I probably could save about half of our income monthly. That would be, like you said, do all 3 things with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got this chunk of money that you can do that with, and you've got this tremendous room in your budget because you don't even have a house payment now in our discussion, right? And so you can do a little bit of all of it. And the trick is just to keep some kind of intentionality. Because, listen, here's the thing. People don't blow their entire paycheck intentionally. They do it because they don't have a plan. People don't give so much that they destroy their lives and their financial plan with outrageous, crazy, out-of-control generosity. That almost never happens, by the way. But but they don't do that they would do that on accident without having a plan. So you plan some giving, you plan some enjoyment, and you can just make it a percentage of your income from this point forward, and you can apply that percentage to this last chunk of money that's left after these other goals are hit.
Yeah, I was going to recommend, Dave, that Patrick and his wife sit down and say, hey, who is somebody we'd love to bless? That could be an organization, that could be their church, that a nonprofit, could be a family in the area, whatever. But really, when that $250, if that's what they've got left over and they figure out, okay, we're going to invest, we're going to enjoy, and then we're going to give. And I think really planning that giving and saying, all right, in our budget, do we want to tie that? They don't have to, but if there's a cause that they really believe deeply in, I love the idea of giving some of that chunk to get them started and then work it into their monthly budget like he was asking. Because I find that we hear from folks that live like no one else, and then you get to that point where they've got so much room and there's some sort of guilt, as opposed to if you could focus on giving a decent percentage of that, boy, you're really going to have the juice that comes with all of that labor and all of that. In this case, you're aided by a big inheritance, but it doesn't matter. Then you don't feel guilt over it, and you shouldn't anyway. But by giving some of it, boy, there's a wonderful emotion attached to the discipline and that consistent giving in the budget itself. I know Stacy and I have always felt that way as we've given to our church. But whether you go to church or not, intentional giving, when you get to this point at baby step 7, I think you'll enjoy the money more when you give a percentage consistently.
Yeah. And as weird as it sounds, we plan our impulses.
Yeah.
It sounds really nerdy, but being chaotic and out of control did not cause us to build wealth. Mm-hmm. We were able to build wealth because we planned. Yeah. Because we did it on purpose. We were intentional.
Great statement. Yeah.
And so, so we plan the nice things that we're going to do. Now, we can set aside a chunk of money and go, okay, this money is almost in an envelope, so to speak. It's not really, but this pile of money right here is for an impulse.
Yeah.
We're just going to blow it.
The blow envelope from the old days.
We're going to go on a trip. Right. We're going to buy a classic car. Sure. We're going to do whatever it is you want to do, whatever your thing is.
Yep.
And there's some enjoyment to that. And the same thing with generosity. You can have a percentage of your generosity that's very well thought through, very much due diligence. Some of it's just random acts of kindness.
Yep.
Some of it's just walking up and, buying a $5,000 car and giving it to a single mom, and it changes their life, and it'll change yours when you start doing that stuff. So there's a mix in here that makes this whole thing good. And once you start writing it all out, there's just not as much room as you thought there was going to be.
No. And I love what you said, too. I hope, folks, you caught what Dave said. There's planning that goes into generosity, too, beyond the paying for somebody's meal in the Starbucks or the fast food, and then it starts into a chain. But this idea of ROI, return on investment in giving your money, it'll make you really intentional where you give your money, why you give your money. You want to see that maximized as well. Yeah. And that's a good strategy.
The other thing is it'll cause you to continue to do it.
Yes.
You won't have the letdowns. You won't have because sometimes you can have a generosity letdown.
Somebody doesn't do well with it.
Yeah. Or they, it's a bad experience.
Yeah. It's good.
This is the Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Evan is with us in Raleigh-Durham. Hi, Evan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. How are you guys?
Great, man. What's up?
Yeah, so my wife and I are homeowners, and we are currently at 81.3% loan-to-value rate. So we are almost able to get out of that PMI. And we were wondering if we should dip into our 6-month emergency fund just to get to that 80% to clear that cost from our mortgage.
What's your loan balance?
Loan balance is $211,000, 81.3% loan to value, yeah.
So $3,000 gets you there.
Oh, yeah, should have mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah.
Cost to get there is $3,288.
Okay, so your household income's what?
It's in like 150 range, 150.
Okay, and how much is in your emergency fund?
$30,000.
And you're debt-free but the house?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, excellent. You can do it if you want. I mean, it's 3 to 6 months. As long as you don't go under 3 months of expenses, you meet the guidelines. It's not that much money. You probably could just cash flow it. Either one's okay. Have you checked with your mortgage company to get? Have you checked with the mortgage company to get the procedure to get the PMI dropped? Because you're probably going to have to buy an appraisal.
Yeah, I've gone through that process, and there will be no appraisal needed.
There won't be. So you write them a check for $3,200. The PMI is gone.
Yeah, that seems to be it.
Seems to be. Is it in writing? Is that what they said?
Oh, sorry. That definitely is it. Not seems to be.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure because I don't want to tell you to do something that might be. So, yeah. I mean, if you've got it all nailed down to that, it's not a big deal. I mean, listen, if you have an emergency that $27,000 won't cover, you have an emergency that $30,000 won't cover.
Yeah. I guess it's more of a thing like if it was extrapolated out to a bigger scenario, I guess your answer here would be like a guidance for a harder scenario there. But
yeah, it would be don't go below 3 months. 3 months of household expenses. 3 to 6 months is the guideline. Don't go below that to reduce debt or to do anything else. But if you want to use $3,000 out of 30 with your 150, I think you're in line. I think you're well above 3 months. You can do that. And if you want to replenish it, you want to have it a little beefier later, you can do that because you can now have a lower house payment.
Yeah, I like it. Evan, do it. You're such a, I mean, you're thinking this thing through so hard you could hear the smoke coming out of your ears, and that's an awesome compliment to you. Go ahead and do it, and then replenish the emergency fund, and you guys are going to feel so much better about that.
Tim in New York City. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Ken. How you guys doing today?
Great. What's up?
I'm just nothing much. So I wanted to know, it's a two-part question. There's a human / psychological element, and then there's also the financial part. So could I give you the numbers for what our household income is and what our debt is so far first, and then go into the question briefly?
Yeah.
Sure. So our household income is about $170. Our total debt right now is about $145. Of 100 of which is my partner's student loans.
Your partner?
Portion is,
whoa.
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Okay, we don't have a household income then. You have an income, she has an income.
Correct. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's start again then. What is your income?
No problem. My income is about $85,000.
Okay, and how much debt do you have?
I have about $22,000 worth of debt.
Okay, and so your roommate has $123,000 or $123,000 worth of debt and $85,000 income.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah.
And how much savings do you have?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How much savings do you have personally?
I have about $10,000.
Okay, and how much does your roommate have saved?
She has about, I don't know the exact amount, but somewhere between 120 and 130. But that's part of my question.
Okay.
So my question is, I want to marry this girl, and I see us, being together indefinitely, and we've been open with each other, talking about how we're going to attack debt. We live with her parents now, and we want to pay this off so we can, get a house in the near future as quickly as possible. So we've been transparent about a lot of things, and I wanted to ask you, so the money that she has saved is from a settlement she got from a medical condition that happened through a surgery and something like that. And she is very reluctant to part ways with any significant portion of it to pay down her student loan debt. So I just wanted to get both of your opinions as to
Did she recover? Did she recover from the medical problem?
So it's became a chronic nerve condition that is long term and can become acute. If something bad were to happen, or if you don't.
So what does she spend on the chronic condition per year?
Right now, I'd put between medication and therapy, maybe around $10,000.
Okay.
A little less.
Okay.
A little less.
All right. So if the amount that she spends on her condition doubles, she could still do that easily if she was debt free and didn't have any money.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. You don't get to decide what other people do with their money unless you're married to them. And then we work on our plan together. So I'm going to fast forward in the conversation and pretend that you're married. But don't do this unless you're married.
Okay.
The advice, okay? Because it's bad advice.
Understood.
It's bad advice when you're not married. Okay? She should not pay any of your debt. You should not pay any of her debt unless there is a marriage certificate, because it's dangerous.
Correct.
Okay? So if she called me, I would understand her pain, be empathetic with her pain, listen to her, and highly encourage her to write a check today and be debt-free.
Okay.
And then take the freedom that she's got with an $85,000 income and begin to rebuild her emergency fund. I would tell you to take $9,000 of your 10 and put it on your 22, reducing it to then 11 to 13. And then you're going to pay that off very, very quickly out of your 85 because you're going to be concentrating on it. And so probably by the time you get your wedding date set and arranged, you both could be debt-free and building your emergency funds, which would put you in a phenomenal position to begin as a married couple to save to buy a house later.
Great.
And that's the shortest distance between where you are and wealth. The shortest distance between where you are as a married couple and financial peace and achieving your goals.
Thank you.
And if you were my kids and you sat down at my kitchen table, which you're both younger than my kids, and so I would tell you to do exactly that same thing. And I've told, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people just like you to the exact same thing in the last 30 years on this show.
Yep. Tim, I would just say on the psychology of this, to the best of your ability, sit down with your girlfriend and help her see what Dave just explained, that she writes a check today, she pays off her debt, and between her income and health care and the ability to be free to save, she's not going to be in a financial deficit even with the chronic health condition. But she's got to see that, and you got to help her get there. You can't tell her. You have to help show her. That's the psychology there, where she gets to the point where she goes, oh, okay, that's great. And she's got to get free of that fear.
Yeah, you're right. Now let's change the scenario just for a minute. The reason I was asking all these questions, because it does change the answer actually in this one. Let's say she makes $85,000, has $123,000 in debt, $130,000 in savings, and I ask the question, what was the ongoing cost of her chronic illness? And it's $50,000 a year. Now we're probably not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to leave that money sitting there and start to work on the student loans out of my income while I work through these chronic things, because that $130,000 is there to take care of her medical needs first and foremost.
That's right.
At $10,000 or $20,000, it's not a big problem mathematically.
Yeah.
At $50,000 or $60,000, it starts to be a problem.
Yep.
Our scripture of the day, Matthew 10:16. Look, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves, so be as shrewd as snakes and harmless as doves. Charles Spurgeon said, wisdom is the right use of knowledge. Yeah, I'm afraid there are other uses of knowledge. That's true. Well, folks, you've heard me talking about the timeshare folks for years and what a crummy product timeshares are, how horrible they are. America's largest legalized fraud, one attorney called it. If you're a current timeshare owner or you're a former timeshare owner, our team is conducting some research, a new survey where we want your thoughts and your opinions on your experience with timeshares. If you want to take this quick survey, text timeshare to 33789. Text timeshare, one word, to 33789. Takes just a minute to take the survey. We really need your help. If you've ever owned or currently own a timeshare, please let us know. Also, we are going to be doing another show on timeshares, and if you have had a bad experience with the Wyndhams of the world, the Westgates of the world, the Diamonds of the world, the timeshare companies that are out there. If you want to talk about your experience with them in the sales process, in the trying to get out, the exiting process, or in just dealing with them, by and large, trying to actually use your points, and oh my God, Lord help you. If you want to talk about it, we want to hear from you, and we want you to give you the opportunity to tell America about what happened with you. So email us at daveonair@ramseysolutions.com. daveonair@ramseysolutions.com, and just put timeshare in the subject line and put a little bit about your story and a contact point, and Kelly will get back with you, and we will make you a part of one of our upcoming shows exposing the fraud that is timeshare, the horrible, horrible product that is timeshare. We want to let all of you guys know not to go in the tiger cage. Don't pet the tiger.
It's like whack-a-mole hour. They give a story and you just whack the timeshare company. It's pretty fun, pretty entertaining. So even if you haven't had a bad experience, this is must listen radio.
It works out. It's kind of fun.
No, you enjoy it thoroughly.
I thoroughly enjoy it. Because, well, here's the thing.
For good reason, though.
Here's the thing. I've been working for 30 years helping people get out of debt and build wealth.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 or 6 really horrible things you can do with money that hold people back and have really messed them over.
Yeah.
And, payday lenders, credit cards, obviously student loan debt, whole life insurance, leasing a car, and timeshares, and they all fall in the same boat. But timeshares is right. It's the scummier of the scummy. It's right down there with the payday lender guys. I mean, they are screwing people, and they know it.
Yeah, because
the
they're
car
being
lease
dishonest.
guys are just like, it's a bad deal.
Right.
And the whole life guys, they're either dumb and don't know it's a bad deal, or they're crooks and they know it's a bad deal. But either way, they're selling a horrible product.
That's right.
But anyway, you get into these things, but these guys, I mean, if you sell timeshares, you're screwing people.
Yeah.
You just know you are.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't care, and it's how you make your living.
Yep.
And so, don't be scummy. Don't sell timeshares. Whoa, there you go. I love it. This is how it happens. That works good. All right, here we go. Monica is in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Monica. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
So I am a second-year medical student, and I was wondering if you could help me figure out what to do with some extra money that my husband and I have. We're expecting baby number 2 in August, so
Yay!
we have paused everything. Yeah. And have saved about $50,000 so far, and by the time August rolls around, we'll have probably around $55,000.
Cool.
And I was just wondering whether once she arrives and everything's okay, if we should put aside money for tuition for the year, which would be $34,000, and then just work the baby steps as normal from there, or if we should put a portion towards paying off my husband's student loans, which are $17,000 left on that, and then paying for the first semester. So
if you did that, can you cash flow the rest?
Yeah, so we would have a little bit to go, I think, like 5,000 to 7,000.
Yeah, but if you don't have the student loan payments, can you cash flow the rest of it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would free some up. But our daycare expenses are going to also increase from $950 up to $2,000 a month. So, paying off the student loans would give us some more breathing room in our budget.
Let me try this. Let's try it this way. So the $34,000 pays medical school tuition for 1 year.
Yes.
And you have how many years left? You said your second year. Does that finish it?
No. So it's a 4-year program. So I have 3 more left, which is $102,000 more to go.
Okay. And your husband makes how much?
Taxable income is $105,000.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to lay out your budget, and you're not going to quit medical school. Okay, you're going to finish. And so if we use this money to pay off his student loans, and you come up short, that means you're going to borrow student loans, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So that's just trading pockets from one student loan to another. That's kind of useless. So goal 1, I'm going to go with the Hippocratic Oath, okay? Do no more harm.
Okay.
Let's start with that as our guideline and say goal number 1 is finish med school with no more new debt.
Okay.
If you can find money beyond that, then pay off his loans. But you got 55 of $102,000 and $105,000 income to find the other 47 to finish debt free, right? And you got 3 years to do that. So yeah, I think you could finish debt. I think you could finish med school with no more debt if we use the 55 towards your med school, right?
Okay. Yeah. I think we could. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just saying. Job 1 is cash flow med school. Job 2, if you find money beyond that, let's go ahead and get out of debt.
Okay.
But it serves no purpose to pay off his student loans, and you turn around and take out student loans equal to that exact amount.
Yeah.
You just swap pockets.
You're
doing so good.
Exactly.
He's got 105. You're going to come out of med school. Y'all are going to be making $350,000 between you. Ding, ding, girl. Y'all are killing it. I'm so proud of you.
Hopefully. Trying to not be a broke doctor.
Well, you're not going to be a broke doctor if you keep thinking like you're thinking and asking questions like you're asking. I'm so proud. I mean, you really are doing great. So, yeah, let's try to do something very, very weird and cash flow the balance of med school. I think you guys can budget tight and pull that off.
Okay. And then I have, because we did have to take out loans for my first year and then undergrad loans. But those are all in deferment, so there's not anything.
So you come out of school, and you'll do residency first, and you make what, $50,000 probably?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah,
yep.
and then you finish your residency, and so your income's going to go to 155 plus when you come out of school, and you guys will begin to attack his loans and your loans at that point, and then when you finish residency and become the official MD, then of course things are going to go zoom. Then you're just going to clean up real fast. You'll just sweep out the corners and go.
Yeah.
And it's game on.
Yeah. Congratulations, Monica. You guys are going to do this. Stay the course. Keep your head down. This is sacrificing now so that later you don't have to sacrifice as much. I mean, you can just crush this thing. It's very exciting. This is 2 doctors we've talked to today that are going to be way ahead of the game. And boy, it's nice to hear that.
Yeah, working real hard not to be broke doctors.
Right.
Because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Way to go, Monica. Good job. Very good job. Excellent work. Love it. Very fun. Ken, good show.
Thank you, sir.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, my co-host today. James Childs is our producer. Kelly Daniels, our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.